He big. He big big. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I was gonna review Amalgamus after Quintus, but we hit 400 subscribers. In other words, yippee! So today, we're gonna look at 86 Ultra Magnus. But before we look at Magnus, of course, as is per standard tradition on this channel, we need to look at his box, which is too big for me to navigate, so I'm just gonna cut to it. Ta-da! So we got Transformers the movie, Studio Series, 8621, because this is old Studio Series where they actually had numbers! 88 and up, Ultra Magnus, Transformers on the side, you got that render of Magnus. On the side, you get Ultra Magnus looking Ultra Magnus-y. On the other side, you get... You know what? On the other side, you get Ultra Magnus with the 86 text. Studio Series, the render, Commander class. And on the back, you get big screen inspired, Battle of Autobot City. Works with deluxe class figures, as you can see up there. He's loading up RC and Hot Rod. RC and Jazz, which I have both of those molds. You got the vehicle mode, robot mode, matrix gimmick. 43 steps, that's a lot of steps. And that's it for the box. So let's cut this thing out of here. Now that we've gotten rid of the box, we can look at the one and only, the first Studio Series Commander. 86 Ultra Magnus. He looks good. He is massive, by the way. Even bigger than 86 Optimus, which is technically correct, but he's a bit larger than he should be. The scale I found online is a good tool. Just look up G1 86. Just look up 86 movie scale. But his size doesn't make him bad at all. He's amazing. I've never personally God, that was terrible. I've never personally handled the masterpiece, but I don't know how that can top this. I can say that this, even more than 86 Optimus, qualifies as a mini masterpiece. And I'm sorry if the camera shakes, my script is on my phone. Accessories are these two blasters. They're sculpted entirely in clear plastic and painted silver. Why? I don't know. The handles are separate white plastic. He can hold them, although somewhat loosely, kind of like 86 Prime, due to the finger articulation. His hands, unfortunately, don't have as tight of a grip as they should, especially when you peg in the blast effects that I don't feel like grabbing off my shelf right now. It's all for his accessories, so we can go over articulation now, and this man. Oh my god. The ratchets. They're beautiful. So. Oh, I forgot gimmicks. Matrix chamber opens up. That's the Earthrise Matrix in there. It's spring-loaded, which is really nice. And then you partially transform the arm. And you see that? That is a Combiner Wars joint. So you just slide that off. And now you recollapse the arm. And boom. You've taken his arm off. The legs are also on... The thighs are also on these Combiner Wars joints. You just slot that off. And you can do that with the other two limbs as well to make a completely de-limbed Ultra Magnus. To replicate that one scene in the movie where Galvatron blows him up. Like, quite literally just blows him up. Oh, God. Alright, let's reattach your arm so we can go over articulation. Head is on a ball joint, but as well as a hinge. Let's shift the camera up a little bit. That allows it to look up that far, down that far. It can tilt, rotate, and do all that. Shoulders. glorious ratchet joints. Hinge out to the side. Bicep rotation. 90 degrees of bend at the elbow, but if you rotate the bicep, you get only one less click, which does kind of suck. You get a wrist rotation. You get the 3-finger trigger finger split that is standard for commanders and even some leaders nowadays. Come on. There we go. Then you can ball it into a fist, you can ball it into a complete fist, all that fun stuff. You do get a full 360-degree rotation at his waist. The hips are on little just ratchet joints. They can kick forward that far, back that far. I do wish they were ratcheted out to the side, but they go out that far. You get a thigh rotation, single jointed bend at the knee that bends to 90 degrees. And finally, the feet can pivot slightly. So overall, really good articulation. Now then, let's get into the size comparisons. Now, some of these size comparisons you're not going to have seen in a review yet. I apologize for that. I have a crazy backlog from TFCon and from just not making videos in a while. I have a crazy backlog. So, let's just bring him down. Here's Magnus next to 86 RC. Let's actually move the camera back a bit so you can see them both. Back even more. So there they are next to one another. Next up, we have Devastation / 86 Sideswipe. I'm just using Dev Sideswipe as my 86 Sideswipe. I didn't get Wheeljack because there's rumor has it we're getting an 86 Wheeljack this year, which hopefully will be a new mold. Where is he? There he is. We got the Midget 86 Bumblebee. Look at that size difference. Look at that. Magnus is massive. We got the Retro Series C Spray, which is just, it's a good figure. It's really nice. Now, on to Voyagers. We got 86 Ironhide, and I did unfortunately neglect to grab the battle damaged Autobots. So there's that. That kind of sucks, and I don't feel like going up to get him. What should be a Voyager, and it technically is in a case, Perceptor. Without Ratbat and Ramhorn. I did not get the Ratbat Ramhorn 2-pack. What I could have done is traded this into a local shop and gotten that, but I didn't know that at that point. We got 86, not 86, Legacy Blaster, which might as well be the 86, but with a very fragile cassette man. Now, my only G1 leader, Sandstorm. And finally, Commanders. Here he is, next to Prime. You can see the size discrepancy here. Yeah, that's something. Now then, transformation on Magnus. Holy Primus, transformation on Magnus is insane. So first thing you do, parts form the missiles. They do parts form, it is necessary, but it's weapons parts forming, so it's alright, mostly. So then, what you want to do is you want to take this panel, open it up, shift this whole thing down, and collapse that panel. Then you rotate this up and see these slots there will go into these tabs. So just slot that into place, and already he's touching the top of my light box. Second verse, same as the first. Also, if you couldn't tell, I'm sick. Take these panels, bring them down. Take these panels, shift them up, and bring this whole assembly out. Next we can work on, then bring these pieces back. Now, we take the entire torso and lift it up. Collapse this. Now we go to the back, bring this up, shift the head through this cavity as we bring this whole assembly up, and I am going to lay him down now. Just because he's getting so big and so tall. You take this panel, well, first, you take the smokestacks, bring them up. Oh god. Then you want to take this panel, bring it up and around, and it will tab into Ultra Magnus's cheeks. It can be a bit fiddly to get in there sometimes, so I'm going to stand him up to get it into place. Yeah, there are tabs there that peg into Magnus's little cheeks. So there you go. There's that tabbed in. Then what you want to do is there are wheels on the underside here. You want to bring those out. And so begins the issue of the cab detaching from the trailer. It happens, unfortunately. Then you want to bring this down. Take these panels, bring them up, and then this panel will come around. And then there are wheels in here. You want to fold these wheels down. And then bring this panel up, bring these side panels up, and there is the cab almost fully transformed. You want to rotate this panel, and there's the cab fully transformed. Trailer time. Let's detach the cab so that way we can focus exclusively on the trailer. So, for the trailer, you want to bring this up. Keep in mind, you do not have to detach the cab from the trailer for transformation. I just chose to do it because it makes my life easier. Then, you want to take the butt plate, snap it into place. And then, you want to take these wheels. They are shifted up by default. You want to shift them down. It's a very weird thing to do. So you want to get your finger in here, push down, and then push in. That's how you collapse. Then you bend not at the knee, but below the knee. Bend the knee up, below the knee, bend the knee up. Tab the legs together. Then, glorious ratchets. Take these up. They will peg into these slots here. Now you want to take the arms, these long arms over here, rotate them all the way around. They will often come untabbed from their straight alignment, so you just want to re-tap them in. Then you want to take this assembly, shift it up, Now then, before we do that, we want to take this tab take this tab, shift it up, slide it back. Then you want to tab the shoulders together. Now, the bottom tab, you want the bottom tab to be this. Bottom tab is the most secure connection, so you want that to be what you really, really push into place. And then you tab these rear arms together, and that'll come undone. These tabs right here go into those slots. And again, this will come undone. Squeeze this. Then you can bring down the gap fillers, the pied de resistance. Come on. Stay together. Yeah, this front segment does not like staying together on anyone's copy, as far as I'm aware. Then you want to take these panels, bring them out, bring this panel up, and bring this around. Up, out, and around. And finally, we can bring in the cab, reattach the trailer to the cab, pull. And there you have Ultra Magnus in his very long vehicle mode. Truck mode is incredible. The gap fillers here are specifically based on the Masterpiece. What isn't based on the MP, unfortunately, is the parts forming missiles, which I forgot to parts form back on. Let's do this. Now then, I need to cut the video so that way I can transform all the size comparisons. This is going to take me like 20 minutes. Alright, I transformed them all. Jeez, it is early. Magnus's truck can detach from the trailer even though it doesn't have to for transformation, so that's really cool. Another cool thing is that can store up to 4 Transformers Deluxe cars. So we will do size comparisons that way. Here we have Bumblebee, RC, and Sideswipe. And those are the 3 deluxes that I own for this that will fit on here. So let's get the rest. Here we have Sea Spray. Let's push Magnus back a bit. Sea Spray. Then we've got in his microscope mode Perceptor. And then let's just do the really quick conversion here, because I don't need to cut this. This is like 2 steps of conversion to get him into his tank mode. There's tank mode for Perceptor next to Magnus. Next up we have 86 Ironhide. Blaster. Let's see who's next. What, are you listening up? Better not be listening up. I glued you into this. Sandstorm in his Dune Buggy mode. And then Sandstorm in his Helichopter mode. And finally, 86 Optimus Prime. They have very similar cab sizes. And I did bring in Prime's trailer so we can compare that next to Magnus. I do believe Prime's trailer makes him slightly longer. Yeah, Prime's trailer makes him ever so slightly longer than Ultra Magnus. But still, definitely worth the Commander class price point for Magnus. Now, with all that being said, let us get into some final thoughts. Overall, 86 Ultra Magnus, in my opinion, very, very worth the Commander class price point. I remember when this came out, there was a whole controversy on how if it was worth the Commander price or not, and I would say that it is most certainly worth it. He's big, he's chunky, he's got the ratchets, he's got... Oh my god. Camera, please cooperate with me. He's got everything you'd want in a Commander. So, with all that being said, thank you so much for 400 subscribers. If you want to know where I've been and what's been going on, there's my previous upload should answer all your questions. With that being said, till next time, my fellow Cybertronians, goodbye and good night. What the? Whoa. What? Since when does it do that? There we go.